One of Us is Lying Season 3, Everything We Know. With Season 2 of the show recently being released and it containing an ending that looked as though it was going to keep suspicions raised around the murder club, and it seeming as though members could be harmed, graduation isn't looking good for those at Bayview as it was closed off as a crime scene. So with that, I thought I'd take a look at all that was out there and give my theories and predictions to what I think could happen next. So let's get into it. Here is One of Us is Lying Season 3, Everything We Know. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The story. In terms of the story, there were a couple of things that occurred in the season finale that alluded to what could potentially happen in Season 3 of the show. The main thing was the flash forward to graduation. We saw Nate say to Bronwyn at the end of Season 2 that all they had to do was get to the end of the academic year and then they could do whatever they wanted during the summer. But it seems as though something terrible and deadly is going to occur at graduation, with it being written off as a crime scene with the police in attendance. We saw Bronwyn's new necklace being taken in as evidence, along with there being a lot of blood on the floor. This could mean that Bronwyn and the murder club could be in danger, or they could have been the very reasons as to why it's been closed off as a crime scene, leading them to be suspects instead of victims. There are multiple people who could want to seek revenge on the murder club still. Cole could most definitely be a top suspect. His brother Jake was murdered by them and it was covered up by the murder club. There's nothing to say that he could stumble across some evidence that points in the direction of the murder club. Even if there isn't any hard evidence, we know that he believed Fiona when she mentioned that she wouldn't have killed Jake. So he may want to take matters into his own hands and make them pay. Like what we saw him do with Fiona. After confessing that she knew what Jake's secret was as to why he ended up in rehab, we saw Fiona was poisoned in her cell. Earlier on in the season, we heard that Jake's family own half of the town, meaning that they have a lot of influence. This means that they could have bribed the guards to have done something like that. It's not been confirmed that it was them that did it, but I think Cole and his family are the only people that would have been able to have made that happen. Cole doesn't want the secret getting out, so if the murder club were to find out why Jake ended up in rehab, this would most likely give Cole motive. Another suspect could be Miss Avery. Seeing as though the crime took place in a school, the school where she was formerly employed, she could want to seek revenge on the murder club for getting her fired, but also the school for firing her. This would provide a reason as to why it would have taken place there. We didn't see her in Season 2 of the show, but I feel as though it would make for more of a surprise if it were to be revealed, and it could also be that she would have had time to work on a plan whilst all of Season 2 was going on. I would also say that Maeve could be a suspect too. The mistreatment of her by her sister Bronwyn and the rest of the gang, even though she'd saved many of them on multiple occasions, could be the final thing that leads her to move to the other side. I think this one is more far-fetched and less believable, but it would make a great twist if it was actually Maeve this time. Another suspect could be TJ. He's currently sitting in a prison for a crime that he didn't commit. He holds resentment towards the murder club ever since they accused him of killing Simon in Season 1, so once he's out he could look to take revenge. The final suspect is Victor, Fiona's father. He may find out that the group framed her for the killing of Jake, and once finding out that she's dead, he could blame them for the death of his daughter. He's another powerful person that most likely has influence within the community, so there's a definite motive there and I feel he would be able to find a way to get to them. Outside of the main arc, I feel there are definitely some more subplots that will occur too. In the final episode of the show, we saw that Cooper's father found the letter that he wrote for him on the night that he was supposed to hand himself into the police, which most likely contained a confession of his involvement in the killing of Jake, so I think we'll see how his father is going to approach Cooper and how they'll deal with the revelation. In Season 2, we also saw that Cooper's father was going on a date with a mystery woman, and on the same night in question, we saw that Addie's mother was also going on a date too, with somebody who we never saw. So I'm going to guess that they were meeting each other. I feel we may see the both of them start to form a relationship, meaning the alliance will most likely grow stronger due to their parents being connected, and both of them being aware of different pieces of information, which I think will go in their favour but could also go against them. With regards to Bronwyn, we've only ever seen her wanting to achieve her dream, and that's to go to Yale. However, in Season 2, we saw her open the admissions email and she found out that she didn't get into college. Her parents believe that she did, and Nate believes that she didn't. So I imagine we're most likely going to see her navigate her way through the turbulence that's on the horizon about her future, and what she's going to do after graduation, if she even makes it that far. There are multiple different directions for the story to go in for the third season of the show. I don't think it's going to end well for the group. They've escaped death several times in the show over the course of the 2 seasons, and I feel this time they might not all be so lucky, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens next. The release date. In terms of a season 3 of the show, there's been no official announcement on if a 3rd season has even been commissioned yet. I don't believe the show is 100% owned by Netflix, so it's out of their hands. They essentially put it on the platform and distribute it worldwide and enable the global audience to be able to view it. Based on the previous success of the 1st season and with the 2nd season being better in terms of delivery and story, I think that a 3rd season will most likely be commissioned. I hope so anyway. The 1st season of the show aired off of Netflix in October 2021, and the 2nd season aired in October 2022. However, the 1st season arrived on Netflix in February 2022, and the 2nd was released in November 2022, so there wasn't that long to wait. However, with the 3rd season not being given the green light yet, I feel it won't be as quick of a turnaround, so I feel a 3rd season of the show will most likely be released towards the end of 2023. I would predict an October 2023 release. The cast. In terms of the characters in the show, there was only really one major death at the end of the 2nd season, and that was Fiona. Or at least we were led to believe that she was dead. Taking that into consideration, I think we'll see the characters Bronwyn, Nate, Addie, Cooper, Janae, and Maeve all returning as part of the murder club. I believe we'll see TJ, Vanessa, Chris, and Cole all returning as supporting characters as well, along with Cooper's father and Addie's mother. And I imagine if season 3 is going to be focused around Jake's secret, I feel we'll most likely see flashbacks of his time in rehab, and also before rehab, which will lead us to find out exactly what he did and why it needs to be kept under wraps. This also means that the possibility of seeing Fiona in flashbacks is on the cards. I feel we'll also be introduced to many other characters in the show that will help develop the plot of the 3rd season and also tie into Jake's backstory. Unfortunately for now, that's all that's known about season 3 of the show, but I'm sure more information will be released as time goes on. So, there you have it. One of Us is Lying Season 3, Everything We Know. If you want to see more videos such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen next? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.